Labadiena! Today we are making a standalone bar. Well, not necessarily a bar, it could also be used as a stand in exposition or whatnot. Anyhow, you will get the idea right away. So, let's go! The build starts with a bit of an awkward beginning. So I'm placing or replacing the belt with the coarsest belt I had, which is 24th grit, because I will be using it as a planer, if you will, to plane this chunk of ash. And I'm doing that because I had to visit a friend who has a laser cutter, so I thought I will engrave a logo for this project with the same visit. So that's why I've started by preparing this piece of ash. Anyhow, that part was done, and now I'm starting from a bit more logical sequence. So I'm preparing the lumber for the tabletop as well as the shelves which will go inside of that stand. To be honest, most of the wood projects start with the same sequence as I'm doing now. So basically I take the rough sawn lumber, I cut it to the more manageable lengths, and then I rip those pieces into strips, so I would be able to mill these properly. Of course, that also means that I will lose a bit of a wood grain pattern, will not look as natural as it would look without ripping the slab. But this method provides a lot more stability to the slab, because I can alternate the grain direction and basically make the wood panel a lot more stable. Anyhow, I digress a bit. So what you see me doing now is ripping some of the milled material widthwise, just because I will use it for the shelves, and those don't necessarily have to be as thick as the tabletop, and I thought to save a bit of lumber this way. And now it's time for the glue up. So I not only alternate the grain direction, but I also keep in mind to place the darker pieces towards the center and the lighter ones towards the edges, basically mimicking the slab appearance. And once the panel was done, the rest is more or less self-explanatory. Basically I ran it through the white belt sander, making it even. Then I trimmed it on the panel saw to the final dimensions and used the palm sander to sand all of the saw marks. And of course then I used the router to knock the edges a bit, and it was ready for the stain. Well, not quite. I remember that the client asked to brush the tabletop, so that's what I'm doing here. I'm using a brushing machine to expose the grain pattern, and now I'm staining it. It seems fast in the video, but I let the stain to cure for a couple of days, and only then I moved the panels to the painting booth to apply a couple of coats of spray lacquer. And now it's finally time to start working on the frame. So the client wanted an industrial look for the furniture, so that's why the frame will be made out of 30 by 30 millimeter square tubing. I want to be frank with you. I don't feel like I'm a really great welder. I feel like I'm okay to weld the furniture pieces, and I'm learning with every single project, but I really don't feel like I should be teaching or explaining welding just yet. So I think I will leave you with a bit of a montage, and we will meet afterwards. just to avoid any confusion, this angle piece I just welded will be used to hold the logo piece, and that's what this groove I'm cutting is for. Anyhow, let's get back to fabrication. And now where the things get a bit more interesting. So I wanted to blacken the whole frame, so I mixed some special acid-based patina and applied all over the frame. So as you can see, it works really well. The problem I encountered was that I forgot about it and I left it to sit for a bit too long, and it has rusted quite severely. So once I saw it, I immediately decided to neutralize it. So I mixed some soda with water and applied all over the frame. But I wasn't 100% sure that this will help, so I decided to place it in the back of my car, and I drove to the nearest car wash and I thoroughly cleaned it with high pressure. And after this bath, I was sure that the chemical processes have stopped and the appearance will stay where it is. Unfortunately, that created another issue. The thing is that I had to finish the frame, to spray lacquer the frame the same evening as I washed it, so it was wet. So that's why I'm using the OxyTorch to dry it and be ready to be lacquered. And also, as you can see, I adjusted the flame so it provided a bit of soot, and it left a wonderful patina all over the metal. The frame was still a bit warm, so applying the lacquer was such a fast process. I really enjoyed it. I could basically go all around the structure and apply the next coat right away, so it didn't take too long. As you can already tell, it's the next day and I'm finally ready for assembly. So I tipped the frame on its side, so installing the shelves would be a bit more convenient. And now it comes clear how the logo will hang. Even though I haven't filmed, but I drilled a couple of holes and tapped those, so I would be able to drive a couple of furniture bolts from the inside of the frame and secure the logo that way. The tabletop ended up being quite a heavy one, and also the frame weighs quite a bit, so I decided to make these pieces on threaded inserts, so the client would be able to separate the tabletop and to move around the furniture a bit more easily. Like I mentioned, this will be an expo stand, so they will have to bring it to other locations. It will not sit in one spot, so being able to carry it around easily is really important. Anyway, all was left to do is prepare the lights, so I don't think there's much to explain about it. I'm basically screwing down the aluminum extrusion for the LEDs, creating a groove for the wires to sit, and connecting everything into a continuous chain. And that's a wrap, guys. Sincerely thank you for being with me, and I really hope to see you soon. Bye bye!